Hello, welcome back to Average Gamer Plays Factorio. Now, I was playing around with this for absolutely ages. I've slightly rejigged the layout of the satellite factory so that basically the two factories output the satellites fairly close to each other. Because I had one sort of way down here and it was like on a massive belt and I had loads and loads of satellites just sitting on the belt doing nothing. I thought that was a big waste of satellites because they're quite expensive to make. Then I realised, after doing quite a lot of tweaking with the inserters and the arrows and you know, the belts and everything else, I realised I could actually get more space around the silo by having the beacons slightly further apart. I'd sort of put these beacons together in a solid line and I could still have a gap there and have the beacons have like a 2-tile gap around the whole rocket silo. This is what happens when you sort of design something quickly and don't pay too much attention to it. So if I have something set up like this, I can basically have 4 inserters on each item and this should launch a rocket pretty frequently. And the other thing that occurred to me is that this will auto launch with the cargo, but if we're in a situation where the space science gets backed up, and I've had this in the main base where we weren't producing one of the other sciences or something wasn't getting produced quickly enough, and we were launching lots of rockets and not basically getting the space science out of it, because it'll still launch the rockets and it'll still send a satellite into space even if there's the space science in here that's not been emptied. So I've got this system set up. If I turn that off to simulate all this backing up, it puts the space science into this chest as a buffer. Now there is a wire on the chest and this inserter for the satellites is wired up to say only insert a satellite if there's less than 200 space science in the box. So if all this backs up, the rocket won't launch. So I think this is the sort of setup I'm going to use. So now that I've got this new design, shall we speed that up? Let's watch lots and lots of rockets get launched. And let's then keep an eye on the production statistics. Leave that running for a minute on full speed. There we go. There's the magic 5,000 a minute. So that is off 6 rocket silos. Now I know that I've got unlimited items kind of coming in here, but it uses the same amount of all the ingredients, the rocket control units and the low density structures and the rocket fuel, and I'm making the rocket control units on site, so that is what is controlling the speed of all this, is the number of rocket control units I'm making. The fact that I'm making more than I need of these is kind of irrelevant at the moment. I mean, the train for the space can sort of come in and okay, let's speed that up a bit and just watch how well that works, sort of loading everything onto the trains. That now has 12,000, 17. Now again, because these stack to These stack to 2,000. Now then, that's going to be interesting because a lot of the other sciences only stack to 100, I think. So I might have to yeah, actually that's an interesting point. So it could well be that these, it's going to be a long time before all this sort of gets backed up. If I don't I mean, I could just sort of do that, and they're still going to hold 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 20,000 in each. Times 6 is 180,000 times 8. $1.44 million. Which means that's basically never ever ever going to run out. So these, I might never need these control wires on these inserters, because this is never going to get backed up, because there's always going to be room on these in these chests to store the space science, no matter how quickly the labs, I mean, technically if there's a major catastrophe and the labs do get hideously backed up, then these could fill up and then, you know, nothing will happen. If I block those off, then these rockets will stop launching. But the other rockets will carry on, and the space science will still carry on into there. But these things are doing their job. That's got 156,000 in there at the moment. I mean, I'm only looking for, you know, so again I might need to set a that's an interesting point. If they stacked 2,000, the train is going to wait for, right, those are also going to stack to 2,000. Means a train is going to hold 16, 20, 40, 80,000. Now then, now this may not be a problem long term. It just means that there'll be 10 times as many trains going to pick up the other sciences as there will be for space science. Now, I don't know if I can simulate lab usage in a sandpit world, because all the research is already done. So I don't know yet how many labs I'll need to consume 5,000 science a minute. I suppose I could work it out. What I'm now thinking is, instead of having the space science go out on a train, because we can sort of do it on a train if we if I filter the wagons, but it means having a separate train for the space science and it not being an LTN train, which again is not a problem. I mean, there's plenty of rocket fuel coming in. I can always sort of put a little bit of rocket fuel in there to power the train with. and I'll just have that as a normal train with filtered wagons. I'm not sure if this will work. I mean, it might work. Where is it? Don't think it actually matters which one I do. Oh, they've changed the icons. Okay. So over 1 minute consumption. So those use up 23, 24 a minute. Okay. It does vary quite a bit, doesn't it? Oh, hang on, let's do it over. Yeah, we're talking 117 a minute. We'll use the lower estimate. Right. So if I want 5,000 a minute used up, divided by 117 is 42.7. So I want 43 of these labs, which is not that many. Right, so that's 5. Now what I had before, I want to tile these. I think what I had before was a line going up on each side and then a line in the middle which had an underground and an overground. And if they are only consuming 25 a minute or something, I think a single inserter was going to be fine. And then we'll put a substation back in there like that. And then that's going to need to be underground, come back up, go back under. Let's just see if this sort of idea works. So we've got one. How many did we need? 4, 5, 42, 43. 6 sevens of 42, aren't they? 6, 8, 44. We'll do 4 rows of 11 or something like that. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Take that off. I've found if you do Shift and numeric pad plus, it speeds up the game instead of having to do the console command. So you can see the FPS at the top there, 120. Each time it doubles it, so 120, 240, and then 480. So we're now consuming more than, well, I've got 44 science labs instead of 42.7, so we are consuming although that is, oh no, that's the total number over the course of 10 minutes. It's this that I'm looking at. I was looking at this number here and it should have been this one. $900 a minute. Hang on a minute. That's not right. That's only 1,000 science a minute for each one. I want it to consume 5,000 a minute for each one, so I need 5 of these. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at how quickly that is now going. That's gone straight up to the 5,200 a minute, which is what we should be doing. I mean, yes, I'm running the game at like 8 times normal speed at the moment, but still. That's how many labs I need to consume 5,000 science a minute. Which is too big to fit into the same octagon, basically. Right, so it looks like everything has actually got the stuff that it needs. All these labs at the top are working. If the ones at the top are working, the ones at the bottom are definitely working. There seems to be enough on the lines. And we are now working our way through all the sciences. If we have a look at the consumption, that is still hovering at 50,000 or 5,000 a minute easily. I mean, obviously it's all coming in off the Infinity loaders, but we've got enough labs there and enough belts to run everything. And I'll have everything sort of coming in on the one side, because all these are going to be, because I've set this up with like an odd number of labs, it's probably going to be best to load them all in from the same side. So I'll have all the trains coming in on the one side, and then I'll have various balancers to do 8 to 2 for each science pack. Let's see if we can put an octagon around this. Rails, large octagon. Place that in somewhere around there. I might need to move this out the way a little bit. In fact, I will. Let's just get that all the way over there. Now, this needs red, green, blue circuits in from the left. So if we do 3 in, why did I say left when it's so obviously the right? Have I left myself? Well, I can still move that along a bit. I can cut all of that, shuffle it along a little bit like that there. That will, I think, work for that. Might be a little bit of a mess, but this is the whole point. Now then, I don't think I've actually got enough room on this side to put all these other stations, so am I going to have to do something with moving around? Let's Control X that and just stick it out the way somewhere. Now we need in here low density structures, rocket fuel, green circuits, sulfuric acid, iron plate. Need more blue circuits over there, don't I? Right, iron plate and copper plate, don't I? So a 4 station and a 3 station, and then, as I said before, the output for the no, hang on a minute. Yeah, the output for the space science is, I'm still going to have an input here and an output along there, so that's going to have to just sort of come in along there and come down and around and out there. Actually, I could change that to be a 4 rail 4 in. I'll put this in as a 4 in from the right. But I will change one of the inputs to be an output station for the space science. So now I can have, it might be a lot of toing and froing with the lines to feed everything in, but I can now basically have Let's have a think about if I want to have those two sort of close to each other, kind of like that. I might have these. Yeah, if that train station there is going to be the output, and I'll do that over here. Yeah, so that will be there. That won't be an LTN station anymore. That will be a normal train station, and I will have some of those. I would have those basically being up there somewhere. So the logistics bots are just sort of flying from here down to here, and then I want these provider chests up here for these satellites to be not too far away from the requester chest at the rocket silos. So the question now is, what's the best way of feeding all this material into here? Do I need 2 whole copies of this factory, or can I just get away with just having you know, another row of chemical plants and another row of now let's just think about if we can have another row of chemical plants up there. That is now outputting more than a belt's worth of batteries. So that needs 3,375. It still only needs half a belt of iron plate going in. So that's going to be half a blue belt of iron plate. So I'll have to upgrade all those to blue. And I know I could use the upgrade planner, but let's just do it this way so that I know what I'm doing. That will need to be, so the hat now produces 675, which is still less than half a red belt. Half a red belt is 900. Let's just move that over there. Let's get another row of these. 15 a minute. Well, we only need 5 a minute anyway, so that should, in theory, if it gets enough materials, it should produce the satellites quick enough, shouldn't it? Some of these are out of power. Everything there is powered. Let's just change that. Is 200 load 100 processing units, 100 low density structures, so we can have those on we can do that basically. That only needs 50 rocket fuel, so that can be on a line on its own. We can probably do that. See if that will load it up any quicker. So it might be that we are now waiting for satellites. Yes, that one needed, I'd put that over there so that it used. Put that over there, it used the beacons, so that should produce satellites a little bit more. Right, that needs gears and let's just have the green circuits on that side, and let's just have the gears over there. The plates rather. Right, that is now producing loads and loads of radars. How many satellites are we producing? Only 2.6 a minute. Although that is on average. So let's speed the game up. 248, 16 times speed. Let's see how fast we actually go. We're doing about 1000 UPS, 950. That is nice and steady. Between 4.9 and 6.1. Point 5.4 a minute. Which is borderline on what we actually need. Now then. Okay, so what if I were to actually put let's exit that out of there. Let's put the rocket fuel in over that side. And then we'll have the let's have a think about no, I'm still going to need, even if it's just yeah, I think that is going to need to just be although I don't think there's enough getting to the end of the line. If I have these on a line on their own, I don't think that's actually making any difference because there's still like less than half a belt of... I was just thinking if I had their own set of inserters picking them up, would they actually insert into there any quicker? But now the question is now, if I have two machines, will one of them just pick up the slack from the other one and just produce, between them, will they produce just over, you know, like 6 a minute or something like that? So I don't want that to sort of right, let's have getting in a mess here. It might be a bit of a false economy. It might be that I am producing half as many in each machine. Hasn't seemed to have increased productivity at all. Even though we should be getting, oh, maybe it's 5.3, 5.4. I think I did see it go up to 5.5 occasionally, but it seems to be dipping down more than going up, to be honest. It is. It's hovering between 5.4 and 5.5 now. Now, hang on a minute, we could be making more. We're not getting enough green circuits coming in along this line, are we now? Right, hang on a minute. These now need 3.75 belts. So if I Control X all of that, put it higher up, so that's basically an extra belt of copper and steel coming in just to feed this last machine down here. Now basically, if a rocket gets launched as soon as it gets onto the pad, then we've got enough satellites. And if a rocket is standing on the launch pad waiting to launch, then we're either overloaded with space science, which we're obviously not because all the lines are moving, or we don't have enough satellites. So let's just keep this running. And eventually these chests will fill up with space science in here, and it's not too far away now. So the space science should actually start sort of filling back up on the line. We've just got to wait for the chests at the end to fill up as well. If the ones in the middle are full. See, that has now got some satellites stacked up in it. So does that one. So we're definitely producing more satellites. Let's have a look at the space. Science, we're producing about 5,000 a minute, which is what we want. So we need to have 8 to 4. Things on the right buttons. Okay, so that's 8 to 4 for the green circuits. We need 8 to 3 for the copper cable, copper plate. Do something like oh, come on. Right, so that first train there will be green circuits minus 307,200, and it contains 64,000 on a train. That second one is going to be copper plate, and that stacks to 100, so that's minus 153,600, and there are 32,000 on a train. This third one can be the iron plate. Why not? And that can just go. We need 3 to that, so that'll be again. Let's do this a little bit differently. Instead of having this as being an 8 to 3, we'll have this as being a 4 to 3. Let's save ourselves a few belts here. We'll save ourselves a few little belts. By having a 4 to 2 balancer in there. Right, 4 to 2. That 2 goes up there, and then we'll have the other 2. So we can get rid of those belts there. Get rid of those up there. Get rid of those there. Belt balancers 4 to 2. That can do that. And then this is also going to be that's 4 to 2, and then lots of 4 to 2, and then that 4 to 3, and then this one can also be 4 to 3. Right, okay, so I need to have that. Across there like that, I think. Go as far as it can over there. That can come down to there, through there. Now we still need to get 2 steel, 2 low density structures and 2 rocket fuel. So let's just make sure that is labelled up properly with iron plate, and iron plate stacks to 100, so that's going to be minus 153,600. That's going to be 32,000. Okay. I need to add radars in. One at the bottom there, we'll have one. Bottom there, we'll have one over there. One over there. That should cover the whole lot in radars. Just by looking at the coverage on the little mini map there, that is pretty much everything. And then we'll have some roboports for buildings. I'm darned if I'm going to build all this by myself. Now then, we will have the building train. For the sake of it being nice and easy, and this coming down in this direction, doesn't it? So we'll have the building train actually in that direction over there. So if I can get building trains kind of, or roboports kind of already within range of existing power poles, I'm not bothered about them actually that then covers that is not within range, so we'll have a big electric pole there. Right. Rocket launch pad. We will have rocket silo. Yeah, we'll just have 4 rocket silos in there. Why not? Science builds, rocket launch pad. Okay. Shall we put it in and see if it starts building it? I think we shall. Save game. Load game. Average.